Hey guys, I'm Colin.
And I'm Ben, and we are live from a Las Vegas Strip casino. And we are from the site blackjackapprenticeship.com. We're here to talk about
deck estimation.
Okay, so deck estimation is really important because there's one important calculation that you need to calculate, which is how you beat multiple deck games. So usually we start off with what we call the running count. The running count tells you how many kings versus small cards, or tens versus small cards are left, and aces, which is how you make your money. But in order to calculate a true count, which is the number of tens or aces per deck, so this is how you beat a 6-deck game, you need to be able to look over here and figure out, estimate, or guess how many, you have to estimate how many decks are here. So for example, what would you say? That's
a deck.
That's about a deck. Now, sometimes this is kind of easy, but it takes practice. But sometimes, it gets a little trickier when you have more up here, and it's a little bit harder to visualize. So what would you say is right there?
3 1/4.
3 1/4 decks. Now, that brings up a question. How exact do I have to be?
Yeah. So my advice when you start out is you want to be very good at quickly visualizing in full deck amounts. What does 1 deck look like? What does 2 decks look like? What does 3 decks look like, all the way to what does 5 decks looks like. And for our team, our standard was half deck amounts. Players had, and how close did they have to be was within a quarter of a deck. So you want to be able to visualize this and say, I'd say that's between 3 1/4 and 3 1/2.
But let's say we want to check, and you're like, man, how do I check? I don't know. Well, first of all, you might want to consider buying one of these discard trays for your house, along with 6 casino-style decks. Okay, you can buy these. We sell them on our website, blackjackapprenticeship.com, or there's other places you can buy them online. But this is the special treat, folks. This is the Blackjack Apprenticeship 6-deck shoe deck ruler. Okay, I've never seen any of these online. We made these. This is made out of the highest quality glossy cardboard that's really available out there. And it's glossy on this side, and this is like a little bit of a low luster gloss on this side. And what you can do is you just stick it right there, and we see, it even takes into account the discard tray, and we see, oh, bam, 3.5 decks. I mean, it's just like, it does it for you. Now, there's another way you can do this. You don't have to buy this, which comes in our kit, but you can actually hand number each of the cards. We had players do this where they went 1, 2, 3, 4, and what that requires is taking a Sharpie and going through 6 decks, okay, which is more than 300 cards. And then you have to not get the cards out of order. And then you would just put it here and you would say, what does that look like? And then you could look at the top card to see what number it is and see if you're accurate or not. This is probably better done, of course, at home, because in casinos, they don't like it when you take the cards off the table and write on them with Sharpie.
Yeah. And there's a training drill exercise that we give people, which is to work on your running divisor true count. And there's 3 steps. There's the running count, which hopefully you've been practicing. Then there's the divisor, and that's where this deck estimation comes in, which is how many decks remain, and that's how you get to your true count. You want, as a card counter, you want to be really good at that, really quick at it. You've practiced it so many times that you can look at this, and whatever running count, you know that how many decks it is, you get to your true count, you place your bet, or you make your playing deviation decision. This needs to be a quick process. So a big part of that is visualizing how many decks is in a discard tray.
And one final just little tip, okay, the accuracy, the more you play, the more important accuracy is, just because generally you're playing with large amounts of money. When you're first starting off though, don't freak out about this. Rounding to the nearest deck is probably okay, just be conservative.
Yeah,
okay?
Round down.
Yeah, so if it looks like 4 1/2, well, just treat it as 4. Okay, so that means that, well, you guys get what I'm saying, but you don't want to visualize, make sure that your number is conservative so that your true count is not higher than it should be. It actually should be lower. That's for betting decisions and deviations. So most of the deviations say that it has to be 3 or higher. So if you think it's like 2 1/2, we'll just treat it as if it's 2. Don't round up to 3. So anyways, you can learn more about deviations and betting and counting and all these things at blackjackapprenticeship.com. But my name is Ben.
I'm Colin.
And please leave a comment below if you have any questions about this or if you want to see any future videos. Otherwise, we hope to see you guys on the site.